I didn't go over there. Maybe I'll go over there. The world is my oyster. Yeah, you can, hi, by the way, Soren. Did I say that right? Anyways, yes, you can hunt, if you have a bow or a rifle. It's actually, it's not terrible if you know what you're doing, but I don't. Oftentimes when I try to hunt anything in this game, I just end up, you know, firing randomly off into the distance, not hitting anything, and then attracting every wolf within 30 miles. Oh, yeah. See, a can opener. Now that's survival stuff right there. I'm hoping maybe I'll go over to the cabins. I'll see if I can find a rifle in there, and we might do some hunting just for kicks. Because otherwise, I'm just basically wandering around in the cold. So let's go back over here. I definitely, honestly, I recommend this game. It's slower paced than a lot of other ones. There aren't any, like, zombies or anything, so, I mean, you're not like DayZ or, I mean, whatever. Rust is another one, but that's more, like, DayZ and Rust are more multiplayer oriented. Trying to think, there's really not a lot like this where it's basically focused on the player versus the environment. I guess maybe Minecraft, if you consider that a survival game, but you don't build anything in this, you just have to scavenge. I mean, you can do certain things, like you make like a igloo to stay warm. Yes, yes. You do get attacked by bears. Wolves as well. I think you can get attacked by a moose, but I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen one yet, so. The rabbits, thankfully, are not like in Monty Python where they bite your arteries and cause blood spray and stuff like that. So, I mean, generally you're safe as long as you're not near a bear or a wolf. So, long story short, yes. Yes, you can get attacked. In fact, the majority of my... Actually... No, I've died from the cold. The majority of my runs have ended from me getting attacked by a wild animal. Multiple times. Usually... Oh, I forgot I can't jump. Usually through my own fault. I got a little carried away and decided to try and take something on that I shouldn't have. Yeah, actually, The Long Dark is on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. I play it on Xbox right now just because I do like the controller setup, but I do, and it's easier to stream. Like why are there pry bars everywhere? I play through this game sometimes, I'll never find a pry bar, and I've found 4 since this run started. Well, hey. Where was I? Oh, it's on, yeah. I play on PC when I do the story. Because I like you get really high resolution screenshots. It'll actually give you 4K screenshots, which is kind of cool. And that's just built into the game. Which I think they're actually planning on putting it on the Switch, too. So there's that. I'm really counting on that. Because I would love to be able to play this on the go without having to have the laptop booted up. Well, hello here. I don't know if I've ever been in here. Wool is your friend in this game. Cotton's alright. but wool is better. It is. I really enjoy it. Like I said, it's a slower paced game. It's heavily focused on you being able to manage your resources and deal with a lot of things going wrong. But I really do enjoy it. It's one of my more favorite games. Though I'm not very good at it, so there is that. Um, if you want to see what the hunting's like, go onto my Twitter account. It's my handle is S_W_W_Steiner. If you go on there, I have one of my friends. His name Twitter handle is Grieving Sage. He has a YouTube account where he pulls off tons of trick shots with the bow and stuff. Like he'll hit things from easily like 100 yards away. He actually just completed a 1,000-day run not too long ago on one of the harder difficulties. Well, I mean, there's a few ways. Here, I'll show you here in a second. So clothing, this stuff makes a difference, but you see in the bottom left-hand corner, it gives you a warmth bonus for how much clothing you're wearing, and then your windproof bonus and protection from attacks, and then how fast you can, like how much of your sprint bar is taken up by like your bulkiness. And then so it shows the air temperature and then what it feels like. So basically your warmth bonus plus the air temperature makes it what it's feeling like. So basically it feels like 61 degrees because I'm wearing all this clothing. If your temperature goes down below, I think it's 32, turns red basically under feels like, then you start losing your warmth. Right now I think he's pretty well dressed, but there's also wind chill, and wind will go right through some pairs. Like some clothing is better against wind and not against just warmth. So I mean, you have to really balance what you're wearing. Some clothes are very useful for fending off being cold, but not against the wind. So you gotta. Oh, I can start a fire in there. That's kind of cool. Yes, and yes, you can start fires, whether you're outdoors or indoors. Like you saw there, I mean, I was able to start one in there. And you can cook food, like these things I'm picking up right now. Anything that can be cooked, you can cook it, and it gives you a bit of warmth bonus too. So it's kind of cool. I mean, hell, I'll show you. Go ahead and burn some cash while I'm at it. Oh, that's not a very good chance of starting a fire, though. Yeah, I'll take those odds. Yes. There's just a lot of variables. I mean, you're kind of... It's gonna, like, when you start off for the first time, it's not gonna make a lot of sense, but eventually you get the hang of it. Like, I mean, you have to build a fire every now and then to melt snow, and then you boil the water that you get from that to clean it, so that you don't give yourself dysentery and die, which I've done before. So I'm gonna make some coffee. So I just cooked up or boiled some coffee, some cowboy coffee, and I'm gonna drink it. Gives me a warmth bonus. There you go. Benefit, warming up. And I'm not as tired as I was before. A night mode? You mean like... What do you mean by that? Like with Does it get to be night? I mean, if you're asking that, then yes, like, nights get, like, whenever it turns to night, it gets colder and outside, and you end up. Oh, did I already search that? Huh. I don't remember searching this. Oh, I guess I did search this already. I'm a doofus. Yeah, it gets dark. And it does get colder. So I mean, you do, unless you are very well protected, like bundled up, you do want to be inside or next to a fire. I mean, and then there's other stuff like you're outside, for instance, you can be warm because your fire will get you through the night, but then, I mean, the wind could pick up and blow your fire out. So, I mean, if you have it set to where you'll wake up when you get cold, like if it's part of the difficulty options, then you'll be fine. You'll wake up and you can have time to get to shelter. But sometimes, like I've put my, gone to sleep, and then as the night went on, I just died in my sleep because it was too cold. And the wolves come out a little more at night too, I think. So I mean, you gotta deal with that. No, I really enjoy that you're asking questions. Let's see. How about snowing, heavy, or storm? Yeah, you get blizzards. And snow actually makes it's a cool thing. Like right now, I'm walking around. It's clear weather and whatnot. And you can kind of see on some of my stuff here. As you're walking around in the snow, depending on whether or not it's snowing at the time, your clothes will actually start getting wet from the snow, like sticking to you. Like if you ever walked around the snow, it does happen. So like as you're walking around, you're out in the snow, you actually start getting cold because you're wet, and so you have to account for that too. Like, hey, that's actually really handy. You have to account for a lot of different things, like in your clothing. Like I said, I mean, not everything's gonna work 100% for everything. Sometimes you're gonna wear something just because it's the only thing you have. Like I started this, I had like 5 pieces of clothing. I had shoes, a jacket, pants, and socks, and then something else. I think I was wearing a hat or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty realistic. They put a lot of thought into it. I mean, and it wasn't always this way. It used to be a lot more sparse. In fact, there was only really one area in the beginning when they first started the playable portion of the game, back when it was early access. Which I'm not there. I'm actually in one of the newer areas right now. I was wrong, by the way. There's no guns around here, so I might have to go searching for a firearm. But there's a crafting system too, like that workbench back there is one of the things that you use if you want to make something. Which, if you cure... Sorry, wrong button. If you cure some wood indoors, you can make it to where you can turn it into a bow or an arrow shaft, and that's how you make your own bow and arrows. You can't just use wood that you find. It has to specifically be live wood that you cure on its own. Like, it can't be brittle because you don't want it to break, so you have to use something that was alive at one point. Well, I mean, it was always alive at one point. That's a stupid way to put that, but you get what I mean.